Okay, I'll quickly record this video just to share what I'm reading and what I'm trying to read. I'm not sure if the audio is clear or not. And I am in the frame, which is good. You can look at the nature behind me. This is the very reason why I've started reading again, or I'm trying to read some books again. Though the books are not very profound as in the ones I used to read in my college years, but it is still a little bit different. I'm trying to get more into contemporary romance novels, and especially also non-fictions. I'm trying to read some of the non-fictions as well. I won't say that I haven't read any of the romance novels before or say non-fiction, but I will definitely say that over the years I have become started feeling more of negative towards it, because the non-fiction ones were literally trying to impose some of the thoughts on you that didn't help me at all. So I will definitely say that. And by non-fiction I definitely mean some writers publish it as a non-fiction under the disguise of self-help book. So yeah, this is what I mean. But yeah, definitely there are so many of the non-fictions that are worth reading and has a good writing as well that I haven't explored though. So I will try to read those as an exception. So first of all, the first title that I'm going to introduce here is Murakami's Novelist as a Vocation. So if you have read anything by Haruki Murakami, then I don't know what view you have on his writing and his novels or any kind of works that he has written. But definitely his novels are a bit of a, I mean, the writing is very, very good, but considering the contemporary literature, yeah, it goes with the mark and absolutely uses his desires, pours all of his desires into his writing, which is I mean, debatable, but also that's what most of the writers are doing right nowadays, taking the inspiration of their former authors and writers in the same way. So Murakami has already written this one book called What I Talk When I Talk About Running. It's also a memoir by him. He talks about how he started writing more and more, and he started working on his novels, how he has written most of his most acclaimed novels till the date. So this is somewhat very much similar, but it is a collection of essays where he talks about the style of writing, how writers use several techniques to write the books, etc. And he has used a lot of examples in it, which I have yet to explore. But this one is the read where I'll be reading without any judgment, because I am quite hold a lot of prejudice when it comes to certain writers, and especially if I have read anything about them on the internet, which is absolutely wrong. Given when you study literature, you don't have to shape your view based on the critical comments or say criticisms written on any of the platforms about the author, about the writer. It is on me to judge the content, judge the literature written by any of the writers, no matter their experiences, no matter their background, and solely judge them based on their writing style and what they are presenting in the book or the literary text. So I will definitely try to be more patient and non-judgmental about it. So second book is Emily Henry's Book Lovers. It's a very popular title on the internet, I would say, since we don't use TikTok, and given the history that and the wave of internet reading, I don't know what's the official term used for this type of reading, but of course booktube popularity and bookstagram is a thing. And when a certain book is popular, when a publisher is pushing a writer, a content, a book or a story, they do it in a way that gets on the view of every other reader and non-reader specifically. And so that if even a non-reader is going to try a book or trying to read a book, they will definitely go with the ones that has visually appealed them, which they have seen it on the internet. So this book is something like that. It's my opinion, because this is the book that I've seen it a lot on the internet. And like last year, in the beginning of the last year, I read a thread by Ria Chops about this book, where she has narrated the storyline interconnecting with lyrics of some song of an artist. I don't remember, but it was very appealing for me to start reading this book, because of course it is a romance genre. It is a fun it has some comedy elements also, and it's a story about two people who are in working in publishing, and they fell in love. It's like enemy to lover trope. So obviously enemies to lovers trope is very common, and even I like it, which is I'm guilty of. But yeah, it is something that I feel like one can read when someone wants a comforting comforting read where they don't have to use their brain so much and feel very much in connection with their emotions, like where they want to feel loved, where they want to feel comforted, etc. So this one is a perfect read for to tackle all these emotions. I haven't read this much, only 1 or 2 pages, as I do usually before starting any book. So this one I am really hoping to finish this as soon as possible. So yeah, these are the 2 books that I am reading, and of course I'm also reading many of the research papers, and also started reading more of poems from different backgrounds. As in, of course, internet has influenced me again. So I have started reading poems of different writers on the internet as well as off the internet. So yeah, I will make a list of all those readings as well. But for this video, this book, just wanted to update you about the books only. Okay, so I was reading the same book called Novelist as a Vocation by Murakami, where he has written this one paragraph that I'm going to read, which is somehow very comforting to read, even if you are someone who is a writer, who is trying to be a writer, who is trying to make a space for them in a creative industry. Then this is definitely something worth listening to. And again, I want to mention that in no way I'm a fan of Murakami, just to make it clear, but yeah. So here it goes. He mentions that at the beginning, when I was still uncertain if my work was any good, I tended to take the criticism to heart. Though I tried to shrug it off, but as time passed, I gained a certain amount of confidence. So it's basically like it has happened to me. It does happen to me quite often now that I am actively posting about me writing stuff, whatever I'm trying to do in writing or as a career, in any way, like creatively. I do feel like I do try to not take it as a personal comment. I do believe that criticisms exist so to make you work on your shortcomings, and also work on your art to make it more good, not perfect, but to refine your art, definitely. But somehow those comments make me feel a little less about my work. Maybe it's an internal factor, but it does. So I mean, reading about it does make me feel like, yeah, it is a shared feeling among writers, no matter the background, no matter the experience. So yeah, a certain amount he thought that his novels were not turning out well. Nevertheless, the storm of criticism showed no sign of abating. To the contrary, the guts only grew stronger. I came to feel like a tennis player whose ball is blown away every time he tosses it up to serve. It seems there's a sizable number of critics who will go on disliking whatever I write, no matter its quality. The fact that my former expression rubs them the wrong way doesn't necessarily mean that my writing is original, of course. That goes without saying. Generally speaking, the works dismissed my critics as unpleasant or faulty are just that. I mean, yet that leaves open the possibility that their reaction also feels one of the requirements of true originality. I don't know what he's trying to say here, but it definitely means that he's trying to establish a base that criticisms exist, but they are all the critics will definitely going to be more vocal about his shortcomings, that his works are not as subjective or as up to the mark of proper literature. So I will definitely say that he's not condemning it, but also he's feeling very cocky about it. That's what I mean. I mean, that's what I'm getting. I'm not sure if you can share it in the comments, but that's what I feel. I'm fighting my social anxiety recording this in a public place. Okay, so that was it for the video. I will update you more, or try to make more videos on the things I'm doing, because that is the purpose of my channel. So yeah.